In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can find rental properties in Dubai that give you anywhere between 10 to 13% ROI every single year. And as an investor to investor who firmly believes that you should not trust any real estate agent, please watch this video, because if you do not, then you're going to be scammed by a lot of Dubai real estate agents. And guys, 99% of Dubai real estate agents have no clue what they're doing, and they're just going to sell you whatever makes them the most amount of commission. So please watch this video. If you're living outside of Dubai and you're watching this video, or if you're already in Dubai, you probably know what I'm talking about. If you're in Dubai real estate agents, you know the story that most of them are clueless and they're just going to try to make the most amount of commission out of you. So I've made this educational resource for you from an investor who's actively investing in the market. So please watch this video so you do not make the same mistakes as I've made, because trust me, I've made all the mistakes that I should have in Dubai. And for those of you that have been making money in Dubai for the past few years, you need to know that you've been in the craziest uptrend in the Dubai market. You might have tripled or quadrupled your money, but do not think for a second that you're a smart investor, because you've just rode the wave. The wave is finished. Now you need to do your due diligence before buying any property. So a lot of agents are really proud that they've made their investors money. Oh, just shut the hell up if you're an agent. You've just rode the wave, same as the investors have. So now we need to actually do our due diligence before we buy properties. And we're looking for rental properties that give us a high ROI. Basically, this video is for anyone that's interested to invest in the Dubai market for long-term wealth and build a cash flow so you can sustain your lifestyle, or you can do whatever you want, reinvest it into your businesses, reinvest it into properties. Basically, build yourself a high cash flowing property portfolio. This is not for flippers, people who want to flip. This is for long-term investors. So I've made this presentation. I hope you enjoy it, and anything that is unclear about this presentation, please comment in the YouTube section. I'm personally going to respond to it, so I make sure that all your questions are solved. Okay, so do not forget to comment if any part of this presentation is unclear to you, because I want to bring some light and shed some light overall about the real estate investments, because I see everyone going through the wrong direction. And that's because of the hype in Dubai. That's because of the hype and the agents trying to make the most amount of commission. They sell people thin air just to make a buck. And unfortunately, investors have no clear idea what to do, so they just go and they fall for it. Anyway, let's get started. This video is only for serious investors who want to build long-term wealth, not for people that are just joking around, because it's property investment and you need to be serious to invest, right? There is one truth about the Dubai real estate market, and that is that Dubai's long-term rental market is a trap. Guys, by trap, I don't mean like a really big trap, but it is still a trap. I've been in the market. I've made every mistake that I could have. I've gotten scammed by my tenants. I've gotten other bad tenants. I've seen the problems firsthand in the market, which I'm going to show you exactly. I'm going to show you my apartments, and I'm going to show you the problems I faced, so you don't fall for the same one. Nobody talks about the problems, because agents don't make money warning you. They make money by selling you the dream and by selling you the wrong properties, which you're going to find out after a few years when you've already bought the properties. So, and a bit of a background about me. My family has been investing in the real estate market globally, not just Dubai, for the past 100 years. And we've made most of our wealth through real estate. So we've had different businesses, import, export, which is the majority of the businesses. But our wealth has always been parked in real estate. And that's what has made us rich in the long run. And if you're in any market globally, you understand what I'm saying if you've been investing in real estate. And Dubai is no different. You can make a lot of money only if you're educated. So please do watch this video until the end, because this is going to educate you a lot on what you can do and what you cannot do. But the type of information that I'm going to give you right here, it's going to piss a lot of agents and brokerage firms off, because this is probably going to make them the least amount of commission, and it's going to give them the most amount of work. But for the agents that are actually there to help investors, this is going to be something that would be beneficial. So they stop just looking at investors as a buck. Anyway, if this offends you, then you're probably an agent and you're a bad one. So please leave this video immediately, because this is not for you. let's get started. So the nightmare that woke me up. This is how I got started in Dubai. So guys, I came to Dubai 4 years ago. I used to come back, like I used to come to Dubai multiple times a year for 10 years. But I never lived here full time. So 4 years ago, I think it was like 3.5 years ago, I came here and I started, actually experimenting like with Dubai. It was my first time, living in Dubai. So after I came to Dubai, I bought my first property 2 months later, and I wasn't patient, so I bought immediately, like 2 months later. And lucky me, it was during COVID time recovering, so it was like one of the cheapest prices in Dubai. And the guy before me bought the apartment half the price. So it was like a crazy market. If you were in Dubai, you know what I'm talking about. If not, then that moment, because everyone in Dubai were expats. Basically, they lived in a different country, let's say US or Canada, right? So when COVID hit, everyone left to their country. Like the US citizen went back to the US because they were scared. And Dubai wasn't their home, right? So they went back to their country. So apartments were empty. This means the landlords had no tenants and everyone needed money, so they were just selling. So we hit an all-time low in Dubai properties during COVID time. So as an investor, that was probably the best time you could have invested in Dubai. You might have quadrupled your money in a few years. So that's how bad the situation was. And right now we're at one of the peak prices. So the story that got me started. So guys, I bought one apartment in Dubai. I think I have the pictures here as well. I will show you. Yes, okay, so this was the apartment I bought. You can take a look at the pictures. I know it doesn't look nice, but that's the entire purpose. Even though I was new in Dubai real estate market, I knew the Dubai real estate. I knew the mentality of making money with real estate, and it's the same everywhere. You buy the shit and you buy crappy apartments, you renovate them and you make money. So this is what no one tells you. If you're an investor, you know that this is true. If not, this is something that no one will pitch you. Like, what type of an investor, what type of an agent in Dubai has pitched you these properties? Look at it. Just look at it. Like, how many flaws it has, guys. The ceiling in the bathroom was just falling down. And this is my contractor, Shamsuddin. That guy was a bit lazy. And you can see the condition of the apartment. This is how I bought it, right? So this is where you make money. This is where you make money. And this is what I turned it into. Look at it. After my renovation, this is what I did to it. So you can see it looks much nicer. I redid the entire thing. The tiles are changed, the bathroom is changed, like everything. So I kind of turned it into a new apartment from scratch. Look at it. Okay, so let's go back to the story. So basically, I bought this apartment, I renovated it, and I gave it to a long-term tenant, basically furnished. So I furnished the entire thing, same condition that you saw, okay? So the tenant came in, he told me he's a married person. He told me that he's married with his wife. And I said, okay, like they look nice. The guy was a local here. He was from Abu Dhabi. And basically, he had 4 checks. His first 2 checks passed. It's like quarterly checks, right? He paid upfront for the first 3 months, and then his second check was for the next 3 months, and you understand the process. So his first 2 checks passed, no issue. Then his third check started bouncing. And the guy told me, like, I'm having some financial difficulty, I'm gonna make it up, I'm gonna do it. And he kept delaying this process for a month. And I said, okay. And that's when the problem hit. So I started noticing, okay, this guy is a bit problematic. He's not going to pay. So, I went in person to their house. I went there, and then the guy wasn't there. So the wife opened the door, at least whom I thought like was the wife. So she said that this guy was married and I was his girlfriend. Crazy story, crazy story. So they kind of broke up, and the woman said, I'm not gonna, leave. So she said, he got this apartment for me. I have no place to go, so I'm not gonna leave. So that was my first dramatic story ever in Dubai. And in Dubai is an Islamic country. So guys, you cannot be, you have to respect women and stay away from them. They can make trouble for you. They can call the police that this guy is harassing me. So I could not do much in my own property. I could not tell her go out. And I could not be aggressive or anything. So I had to be polite. And I exited the property after she became like wild, and she did crazy things. So I went out. I had to take it and do something in the legal manner, and that was my first time in Dubai courts, my first experience ever, like to actually sue someone. So I went there, and this guy. So here's the thing: never ever take a local tenant, because guys, locals here, everything is favored to them. So even if they're the ones making mistakes, if they're local, the government supports them because they're from here. And that was one of the main problems that I realized, and my friends told me afterwards that I should never rent to a local, and that's true. Most of them are very, very good people, most of them. But in case they're problematic, you see what happens. So basically, this process took me a few months. I registered like everything, my legal case. Dubai tells you that they're very fast with everything, and they are. So the guy's arrest warrant came within a week. All his accounts were blocked. Basically, his car plate was also, flagged. So in case they saw like his car plate in the city, they would arrest him. Or if they have his face, scanned by cameras, they would also arrest him. But from what I know, this is best of my knowledge, by the way. Only some places like Dubai Mall or the Emirates Mall can, find him. Basically, those are the ones that cameras are able to scan, people's facial recognition. But anyway, this took 1 week, right? So this process was easy, the court process. But the thing is, they would not actually go and arrest him. So technically, he had zero balance. He didn't have any car to his name. So he was prepared. He was prepared for everything. He knew what was about to come, and he didn't want to pay. And I realized that he owes money to multiple people. Oh, and there I was screwed. This guy owes money to multiple people, and I'm just not the first one. And he's already prepared. He has zero in his bank accounts. His bank accounts were actually blocked before I even come. But I also, got the warrant to block his accounts. So he had nothing to his name, and pretty much no one went to his house. No one actually arrested him. Basically, they were just waiting for him, to show up and get arrested. But a guy like this was prepared. He wasn't gonna show up in places that get him arrested. So this process took 5-6 months, and the woman stayed more than the annual contract. The last check also bounced, so you can see there it was like me, 2 checks bounced, plus she overstayed for 3 months. So 2 checks, that's 6 months, plus 3 months, 9 months were unpaid. Luckily, I got one of his checks passed. Like after a while, I managed to get one of the checks passed. Basically, he did pay the one amount. I don't know why, because he blocked me afterwards, right? He blocked me afterwards, and he didn't pay anything after that. But I managed to get one of his checks to my account, so he owed me like 50,000-60,000 dirhams with the overstay. So basically, my apartment was also, full, and there it was. I realized that Dubai long-term rentals, that it's favored, for the tenants. You can't evict easily. If you want your property back, you need a 12-month notice. So guys, this is the stupidest thing ever. You can only, so let's say a tenant wants to stay for 3 to 4 years. You literally cannot kick them out. If they're going to stay for 3-4 years, the only way you can kick them out is either say you're gonna live in this apartment, like you're planning to live in this apartment, and give them a 12-month notice, like a 1-year notice, or you're planning to sell the apartment. So either you want to sell the apartment, or you plan to live in them, and you have to give a 12-month notice. So this is stupid. Otherwise, if you have no intention for these 2 things, the tenant can stay for as many years as they want, right? And eviction grounds are just like a joke. Basically, yes, they do get an eviction notice. You can literally put them in prison as well, but who's gonna go after them? They do tell you that their accounts are gonna get blocked, but guys, I don't give a shit if their accounts are blocked. I want my money back as an investor and as a landlord, right? So Dubai doesn't tell you that, but it's not safe. It's not safe in terms of long-term investment. If you've had issues with your tenant, it's a big headache in Dubai. So this is something that just kind of demotivates you, as an investor, to do long-term rentals. If you face issues like this, if you have good tenants, good for you. But if you have bad ones, they're very bad, and you're gonna have a hard time getting your money back, because a lot of people, they're living elsewhere. They have their bank accounts in Canada, in the US, right? So if their bank accounts here get blocked, they don't care. They're just gonna use that. And they keep living in Dubai, and unless they go to public areas where they can arrest them, they can still technically live here. At least it's been the case in my uh, personal experience. And your title means nothing. Basically, they have all the rights. Okay, so, and this is what kind of got me started into Airbnb. You're pretty familiar with Airbnb, I believe everyone. So, guys, Dubai market is very, very good for Airbnb, and but still a lot of it is scam. Again, so this is the process that got me started, into researching Airbnb, see how it works, and how I can, have full control of my property. Basically, I didn't want to be stuck with tenants and have no control. In fact, if you sell a property that is tenanted, basically a tenant is living in the apartment, your value goes down by a lot because no one wants to buy an apartment with a tenant because the new person buying it needs to give a 1 year notice, which is a big headache. So everyone online at the time was just shouting 30 to 60% more income on your property, passive income, everything, right? But as an investor and as a person who's been in business, I've seen this BS a lot of times, people just trying to sell. So I had to test it myself. And that's when I turned my apartments into an Airbnb, like specifically even this one. This was the first one I started, testing Airbnb on. So I first tried a management company, and the pitch was we furnish your apartment, and I just pay them 15% for management, and they take care of everything, cleaning, maintenance, and then they pay me the amount in my account. But little did I know that it's not as good as it seems on paper. So the first company, scammers, late payments, shady charges, something that cost 30 dirhams suddenly it was 100. So let's say I've got my table broken, right? And they want to fix it, like they could fix it. Or even if they want to change my table, instead of a 200 dirham table, which I mean the table, if it costs 200 dirhams, they're gonna charge you 5 times higher. Typical Dubai. So they're gonna try to overcharge you on maintenance. That's the first thing I've seen. And secondly, be really careful with their management. Like, is the apartment vacant or is it not? Because some days they may show you that the apartment, is actually vacant, but they have guests stay there. So basically, out of 30 days, they tell you that 20 days the apartment has been full, 10 days vacant. You need to make sure that that's correct and that's accurate, because they can have guests go in and they get the money and they don't pay you. Okay, so that's the first thing. And that was the first company I worked with, and I was even making less than long-term rentals. So I knew the potential because I had seen the daily rents, but I just knew that this wasn't the right company, not the right communication, not everything. Second company, same garbage, different logo. The people didn't know what they were doing. They were not scamming me, but they had zero clue what they're doing about Airbnb, and they could not give the right ROI. And that's when everything started. I said, I'm gonna start it. I said I'm gonna start my own company, and guys, an investor. I've bought all my properties in cash. Everything is ready. I've got no payments on them. So I decided not to start my own company, to manage my own portfolio, because in Dubai it's a bit tough to manage your properties as an investor. It's much easier if you have a license, like a company license, to manage your properties. So I basically started my own company to manage my own personal portfolio, and only a very small portion of people in Dubai know how to manage these properties really well, and everyone else is just faking it and hopes that you don't notice. They hope that you don't have enough understanding and enough knowledge, so they can just keep scamming you. Anyway, call me paranoid or call me difficult, but I don't care, and I stopped trusting these clowns, and I took everything in-house and built the operation. So this was my first property, as mentioned, that I turned into an Airbnb. My first investment was my first Airbnb. And let me show you the actual numbers that it is generating. And by the way, this was operated by companies initially. Okay. What the hell is going on with this presentation? So I brought on two examples, actual examples. So the tower I told you I had, my first investment was Eskan Tower in Dubai Marina. It's a one bedroom. The long-term rentals were 80 to 85k per year, okay? And basically that's for furnished apartment. Like I furnished it and 80 to 85k per year was the rent. Now with short-term rental, I've turned it into 110k a year on average. So you can see it's quite a good increase and makes a lot of sense investment wise. And the second example I brought is Ontario Tower Business Bay. This is a two bedroom I bought. You can take a look at the before. I also did the same furnishing with this one. Okay, now this is turned into this. As you can see, the kitchen is fully changed, renovated. This is supermarket nearby that I used for an Airbnb picture. You can see furnished. I've got like gypsum on the ceiling. Lights are changed. I've put a design. These are the bedrooms. Okay, washroom is also fully changed. Fully new tiles, fully new basin, and everything's changed. This is the gym. I put a table here. And this is a night picture. This is the game net nearby. This is the pool. Supermarket nearby, and by the way, it's very close to Burj Khalifa, walking distance. So for Airbnb, you need to be actually walking distance. Take a look. Okay, and this is how, and by the way, this one on long-term rentals does 120,000 dirhams per year, and in dollars, that's around, let's say, $38,000 in long-term rentals. And in Airbnb, it has 180k, which is like, I would say 50k, yeah, 50k. So around 40 to 50%, actually 50. It would be exactly 50% higher. And guys, I'm not talking about revenue. I'm talking about like the actual prices after cost deduction. Because on Airbnb, you have other costs included as well, like your bills. Now let's go analyze the deals. How much did I buy these properties for? Because that's all you care about, right? So this Eskan Tower in Dubai Marina, I bought it for 620,000 dirhams, which is, okay, just give me a second. I need to get my phone for this, my other phone, so I can just calculate. Okay guys, so the one in Eskan Tower, Dubai Marina, I bought it for 620,000 dirhams. Okay, for those of you that are thinking it's too cheap, I just told you that it was during COVID prices. That's around $167,000. So it's a very good price, cheap price. Right now, after furnishing, it's around 1.2 million dirhams. So that's $324,000. And I had no credit back then, so basically I had to buy everything in cash. Like literally so far I had to buy everything in cash, and now my plan for 2026 is I have 9 apartments so far. I plan to refinance them, and I can pretty much put a 20% down payment, buy more apartments. And in my opinion, towers with good views have the highest ROI. I don't touch townhouses, I don't touch villas. At least I haven't yet. So anyway, 324,000 is the price afterwards, which is today's market price. Okay, and you can see on short-term rentals, I'm getting 110k profit. So if you're gonna compare it to my purchasing price, I also spent 60,000 dirhams on full renovation and furniture. And in Dubai, you have 2 fees. You have 4% DLD fee, that's the fee you pay to Dubai Land Department, and you have 2% agent fee, so that's also 6%. So I'm just gonna give you the final price, plus 60,000. So the final cost, like my total cost, is 720,000 dirhams, which is $193,000. That's how much I bought it for. And 110,000 dirhams, which is the rent per year, is around $30,000. So $30,000 divided by $193,000. So that's 16% ROI. But again, I know that I bought this one cheap. But let's go to Ontario Tower, the 2 bedroom. So I show you, this is a recent purchase, basically 2 months ago. Yeah, I think this one I bought 2 months ago. So I bought this one for 1.2 million dirhams. Basically 1.2 divided by 3.7, that's $324,000. So a 2 bedroom. You saw the pictures, right? So for Ontario Tower, I can get 1.2 million dirham, 120K a year on long term. Let me give you the final price. So 1.2 million dirhams, that's my purchasing price. 2% is the agent commission, right? We had a 2%. 4% is the Dubai Land Department fee. Basically, the government charges you 4% for any, transaction. So if we add 6%, that's 1,272,000 dirhams, right? And I spent 50,000 dirhams fully on renovation. And guys, I redid the entire kitchen, redid the entire bathroom. If a contractor or if a company was supposed to do this for me, because I changed everything myself, and that's very important. You need to change, you need to kind of do this yourself. They would have charged me like triple this amount. I redid the entire kitchen, like everything is changed in the apartment, right? So my full cost is 1,322,000 dirhams. If we divide it by 3.7, which is dollar, that's $357,000. That's my final cost for purchasing. And guys, you may be applicable for mortgage as well. I haven't really applied for it yet, but if you're living in Dubai, I think you can apply for it easily. So you have a bank history. So 357K is my cost. Now on long term, I can do 120K a year. 120,000 divided by 3.7, that's $32,432 divided by $357,000. That's around 9% ROI. Now let's go back to short term. 180,000 dirhams, right, on short term rental Airbnb divided by 3.7, that's $48,648 divided by $357,000. Guys, that's 13.6 ROI. And here's the thing, with most properties, you're not going to be able to make this much money because most agents do not use a strategy. They just try to sell you a ready property, but in reality, the way that you make money is buying crappy properties like this, renovating them, and then renting them. But crappy apartments in good locations. This is the most important element. If you buy bad areas, because if you pay attention, both my apartments are in top areas, but all their towers. So location, location, location. That's the first thing about real estate. Everyone knows it as an investor. So these two properties are both top locations, excellent views, but that specific apartment is in a crappy condition. So they're going to sell it to me at a distress, as a distress deal. But do not misunderstand this crappy apartment for bad location. These are both top locations, very good locations that tourists would like, so they can perform on Airbnb. And you have to be able to pick those apartments, which I'm gonna share more details on how you can exactly spot these types of deals. Sorry guys, just a sec. I have a phone call, I'm gonna pick it up and then resume. Alright guys, my apologies, I had to take a phone call. Anyway, let's continue. As mentioned, you buy really crappy apartments in very good locations. And also the tower should be good, but that specific apartment should be a bit crappy. So there is an 11-step framework I use to find really profitable Airbnb, like good properties for Airbnb, so they can give you the maximum amount of ROI and how you can manage it. And it could be remote even if you're outside the country, because I know most investors in Dubai are not here full-time. In fact, me myself, I'm not here full-time, and I'm gonna be leaving for 2 months and coming back, and it's okay. That's the Dubai lifestyle. Most people have an investment here, they have a business here, but they don't necessarily have to live here. right? And that's why everyone likes to buy it. Kind of gives you freedom. Really easy, to operate everything remotely, and they support people in terms of that. So listen carefully, because if you dive into Dubai Airbnb without knowledge, you're gonna lose money, and that's the bad thing about Dubai. Most operators and people that you're gonna work with, they don't know exactly what they're doing, and they're not trustworthy. That's the main factor, not trustworthy. So don't buy the wrong property. I'm gonna show you exactly how to analyze property so you can have an understanding about the market. So for this 11-step framework, let's get started with the first step. Okay. First one, know your actual budget. So guys, for apartments, which is my first suggestion, like if you're new to Dubai, or if you're not even new to Dubai, if you have 20-30 million dirhams or even dollars, I still suggest you buy apartments. Guys, 20-30 million dollars is nothing in Dubai. Not that it's not a good amount, it's a really good amount anywhere, but it's not it's not actually something that you could do crazy amounts of shit with it. You could do good things with it, but my suggestion is you take it to apartments, because you can buy a very good number of apartments with this, and you can diversify between apartments, and they're safer. So in Dubai, you need to realize, if you want safety, you need to be in the hub. Where are people living, and where are they gonna live for the foreseeable future? Because in case there is a problem in Dubai, and let's say something like COVID happens again, and people leave, further areas from the city are gonna collapse, which is townhouses, which is villas, right? They're gonna have less demand. But if you're in like the heart of Dubai, like downtown Dubai Marina, we can actually show it here. So look, for example, downtown Dubai, you can see it, Dubai Marina. I'm just typing them, so in case you're watching the video and you want to take a look as an expat, you can just have a chance. JBR, you might have seen this. JLT is also relatively really good. JBC isn't that good. Let's just delete this. But these are my I would say top picks in terms of safety, basically where people are residing and where we will have demand. Okay, there are new areas that come up. Some people try to predict the market, say this is like the new area for Dubai, and you're gonna have a lot of demand. I don't like to predict, I like to know, and that's what I suggest to you as someone who's investing in the market. Okay, so let's get started. Know your actual budget. If you're buying a 1-bedroom apartment, this is my suggestion. If you're gonna repeat the same process as I am, which is buying older units in good locations and renovating them, you're gonna need 1 million dirhams approximately for 1 bedroom, which is around $270,000. Okay, do include the renovation costs that I mentioned. You're gonna have some other extra costs that you need to pay to the government and also to your agent. But for a 1 bedroom, you need $270,000, which is 1 million dirhams. Okay. And for a 2 bedroom, I would say you can go up to 1.4 million dirhams with the same strategy that we just discussed, which is around $380,000 for a good area. Okay, so know your budget first. How much do you have ready to invest, and what type of deals you can get? Okay. Sorry guys, received a message. I know this video is not professional, but it's not meant to be. I'm just an investor, showing you guys exactly what to do. Okay, so all done. Basically, know your budget. After you know your budget, then you can have an understanding what to buy. I would suggest 2 bedrooms if you have more budget, because for Airbnb, you could kind of put a sofa bed and you have a much higher ROI. Okay, but if you have less budget, it's okay. You can go with a 1 bedroom. And the goal is trying to hit 9% ROI minimum. So I'm going to show you how to analyze deals and how you can buy it. And on every deal that you analyze, you need to keep in mind that you have a 4% DLD fee. This is the fee that you pay for to the government for any transaction, and 2% agent fee, and you have some small fees like trustee fee, NOC, or any mortgage in case you have it, right? You can calculate like 5,000 dirhams on the rest of it, basically $1,500 extra besides these two, okay? So I know you have a lot of costs, to buy the property in Dubai, but that's the case. And you can still have high ROI. So calculate your costs when you're using this method. And step 2, when you're buying the right properties, do not trust any agents as mentioned. Let's go do it live together, guys. There are two main websites that I would want you to use. Property Finder and Beirut, okay? So these are the marketplaces that we use, but we always like to fact check them. There is another website called DXB Interact. So the good thing with Dubai is you can see all the long-term, like all the sales transactions. So let's say in my building where I'm living, I can find exactly the unit next to me, like how much it's been sold for, and I can see the entire transaction history, which is very good. For example, I can see the previous owner has sold it for 1.5 million dirhams, and then the next guy has sold it for 1.8 million dirhams, and I can see the exact date. So if I'm buying an apartment in this tower, I get a clear picture of exactly what price people have been buying and selling this apartment for. So let's get started with this. First of all, sign into DXB Interact so you're logged in, because it shows us the actual values. So we find our deals, right? We find our deals through Property Finder and Beirut, right? And we fact check them to see if we're getting a good deal on DXB Interact. So I'm logged in. Now let's go to Property Finder and Beirut. And guys, if you're a serious investor, you need to kind of check it regularly. You cannot just put one offer. I put 200, 300 offers when I have a firm decision in one tower just to buy. 200, 300 offers. And I have a secret method of reaching out to the direct owners, not the agents. Because if you buy here, you're gonna get to the agents. Basically, I pick my tower and then I put direct offers with agents. Let's get started. So you buy, right, an apartment as mentioned. I would say pick 1 to 2 beds. That's it. Your filter. Done. We want to see if we have any crazy deals. Price maximum 1,200,000 for. We can actually pick it here. For. Okay, this we actually have a 2-bedroom as well. Okay, 1,500,000. Let's say maximum. And put the filtration on ready. Basically, these are ready properties. So guys, in Dubai we have like off plan. I suggest you stay away from it. Off plan is basically when a developer says we want to build something, right? It's gonna take us 3 years. You pay us a 20% down payment, and you pay as you go. When they're developing. So you pay 20% upfront before there's any development, and then you pay, for example, 5% after 3 months, and then another 5% after another 3 months. Every developer has their own payment plan, but basically that's the way it is. I suggest you stay away from it because you cannot really make high ROI on it unless you're buying in further areas from the city, which is developing. But if you're going for cash flow, that's the worst decision you could ever make, and you might even lose money because this is prediction. I don't want to predict. You might lose money on prediction. We want to build cash flow. Okay? Leave everything else empty. And sort by lowest so we can see if there are any actual good deals. I don't understand these people. Look, this is an off plan. This price is just way too low. These are off. Okay, no, this is Ajman. Sorry, guys, I forgot. Dubai. Okay, forget these areas. Let's also search by location now. So, for example, Dubai Marina, right? I told you that's a good area. We go area by area. Dubai Marina, find. So you can see there's one seal tower. I'm pretty sure this is almost off plan and this is not ready. So some of them, even though I've filtered ready, Okay. This is a hotel. Basically, it's a hotel offer. Stay away from hotel offers. Those are not good deals. Basically, you get a hotel room, and the hotel is the one managing it for you, so you have no control, right? So you buy like one unit in one hotel. Stay away from them because they're not the best decision you could make, and you're kind of reliant on the hotel to make you money. Okay. Next one. Dubai Marina 830K. What is it? TFG Marina Tower. So guys, this is really small. You're not gonna have a lot of money being made on this. So it's like 443 square feet, which is around 40 meters. It's way too small. Let's look at the view near JBR Beach. Let's check it out first of all before we make any quick judgments. TFG Marina, Dubai Marina. So you see on DXB Interact, I can check the actual transactions. So one bed has been sold for 600,000 dirhams on 25th of November. And another one, a studio. This is 710,000. A studio. So the crazy part is studios and one beds are almost similar sizes and they're being sold much cheaper here. This one for some reason is really expensive. Let's analyze studio 750. So you can see the exact dates that they've been sold for, right? 30th of September, 19th of September. One bed 1,595,000. Interesting patterns. Here there's no specific pricing. Basically, you can see this is double, and it's the same kind of size. Studio. Let me filter it by the lowest price. Okay, and here's the thing. You can see it's been sold by the developer in May 2025. So it's a new unit. It's kind of, a new building. Because here the developer has been selling it directly, and here we've had resales. Okay? There are usually difference in prices, basically if it's the first floor or if it's like the highest floor, right? But it's a bit weird here and a bit off. I wouldn't be interested in something like this when it's sold by a developer and the price difference is just too high. If we could buy them cheap, it might be interesting, but let's see. Now I go to rentals. From sales, I go to rentals. So we want to see how much rental we can get. And guys, you can see I cannot find any rental on it. So I know it's a new development, but it's a bit risky. There's no rental on it, and they're just selling. Prices are widely different. You could research these kinds of deals, personally reach out to them. But from what I'm seeing, it's not something interesting and something that makes me actually want this. So same thing, we go to Seal Tower. The thing is, this is 336 square feet, so it's very small. You need to know as an Airbnb investor, the more bedrooms you have and the more space, the better. So this is not going to be good. Like these are just way too small. Or, okay, so here we go. Marina Pinnacle, 899,000 dirhams, almost 900,000 dirhams. And 761 square feet. So here's the thing. I know for a fact, again, if you're an agent and you're going to make fun of me, well, I'm going to be making fun of you. I'm going to be making fun of you back, right? So this is a worse tower. And I know this tower. I know Marina Pinnacle. There's a lot of, people that are sharing there. Basically, 4 people rent an apartment together in a 1-bedroom and they live together. So they pay less fees, and there's a lot of that crap going on there, I know. But still, I would argue that this is a much better investment if you do a better renovation for Airbnb. So you buy this with like a bigger size, so you can have more space for a family, and you could put a sofa bed and an actual bed there, right? So more people can stay, relative like compared to something like this, which is very, very small. Like you could barely walk in there. 30 square meters. Marina Pinnacle, same thing. So we're gonna go analyze it right now. We're just checking the deals. We have one again in TFG, same one that we saw. Dream Tower 1, similar square feet. Marina Diamond 4. So these are better investments than most agents actually pitch you, and you could easily get a 9% ROI on Pinnacle, also Marina Diamond 4 and Dream Tower. I know all of them personally because I've searched Marina, and the process that I'm explaining to you, I've been through it many, many times. So let's go to them. Let's go to them, Marina Diamond 4. And Beirut is a secondary source, which you could check. I'm not going to do it for the sake of this video because it's going to be way too long, but it's similar process. Marina Pinnacle. So let's see if we can get a good price on it. In 14 and guys, you see some limitations with a free account. Basically you cannot have everything. With a paid account you can have more options. So 820k on 8th of December for 931 square feet and a 1 bed. This is a pretty good deal. And usually the way you have to operate is go through WhatsApp, and I put the offers much cheaper. So if this is 920k, I put an offer for 800,000 dirhams, and that's my offer. I will come up only slightly higher. So you need to be really smart with your offers. You put really cheap offers and you're slightly negotiable, and just leave the deal. That's what I do. I put 200, 300 of these offers on a regular basis, and I just leave. If they're distressed and they need money, they come back to me themselves. So I put my offers and I let go. They come back to me with if they need money, and that's when I just buy. So Escon Tower, this is the apartment I had. I told you, sorry, this is the tower I have. I bought it for 620k. You can see it's also renovated. So guys, this is a relatively very good deal. For 930k, if you have good furnishings, you can rent it for 110,000 dirhams a year. Okay? Worst case scenario, 100,000, because mine is a bit bigger than this. Mine is 840 square feet, so it's a bit bigger than this, right? And I think I have a nice furnishing. This one doesn't have that much of a nice furniture. You could maybe spend a bit on it, and it would have a nicer, higher ROI. But you can see these ones, everything we're seeing here, guys, they're much better deals than any other agents ever pitch you. Negotiate, buy them cheap, and turn them into Airbnb. So that's on the acquisition side. The XP Interact, this is where you can check the recent transactions to make sure the prices that you're seeing on Property Finder are not too high. Don't look for anything too small. Look for bigger things, because for Airbnb, space matters. Too small. Good. Marina Pinnacle. And most of you, like, if it's a bad, okay, this is rented. Most people will say this is like, these are not as good as other towers, but I would say if you have a big budget, let's say 20-30 million dirhams, buy 20 of these towers. There was someone in Escon Tower, same tower that I invested in. Basically the guy bought 40 towers. So that's an example. It's 40 apartments. That's an example of a guy with a bigger budget. These smaller investments, you can buy a lot of them and you would have a higher ROI and less headache. Right? Plus you get like a lot of authority with that specific building. They would know you, they would respect you, and you could like operate your Airbnbs much easier. And that's my suggestion to you guys. That's my suggestion. Anyway, these are all good deals. You see, these are the Pinnacle, Escon Tower. These are really good for Airbnbs. And okay guys, and there's a tool called Price Labs. You could go to Price Labs and pretty much just open it. This gives you Airbnb estimates, like how much you could make on Airbnb and short-term rentals. And for each tower, that's a fine, and it's pretty accurate. So you can find your tower, you can have an idea on how much you can buy it for, and you go here, you can have an estimate on how much you can earn on that tower. So this gives you like a pretty, good idea on how much you could earn through Airbnbs with this tower, right? And that's pretty much what you do with this. Now that we're clear about this, I'm going to go to step 2. So step 3. So you find your properties like this and you estimate how much they could earn. Now step 3. You renovate smart, not expensive. So guys, step 3 is a really nice design. Plus, even if you're not doing Airbnb, if you rent a furnished apartment, you're going to get a much higher ROI. So renovate. To renovate, you need a few steps. Basically, first of all, I would say you just send your design to a designer abroad. You don't need to pay a lot for anyone local. Just send a design to someone that gives you a nice idea of what you can do. So after you have an idea of what you can do, in Dubai, you're gonna get scammed if you go to companies. Guys, you want to make money as an investor. You don't want to lose money. And in case you need any help with any of this, okay, just reach out to me, join the newsletter, or book a call with me so I can help you out as an investor. I'm not, you know, here basically to sell you anything. My business is something else. I'm an investor, but I could give you guidance on where you could go, and I would like, you know, to build a network of investors so we all buy together and we get an idea of the market. So if you're interested and you need any help with any part, okay, just book a call with me and let's connect. And this is only for investors. If you're not an investor in Dubai, you're an agent, or you're in the real estate market and you have no interest of, you know, kind of investing, do not book a call. This is only for investors, or I guess, yeah, only for investors, no other use case. So after you have everything done, there is a market called Dragon Mart. You may know it in Dubai. It's a cheap market, but it's a good market for renovation. Basically, you can kind of wrap up everything for 30,000 dirhams with contractors. And also, I have really good contractors. If you need help with it, do let me know. I'm going to introduce my own contractors to you, okay? So basically, they could set you up with everything. And you pretty much give them a design, they implement it, and you also buy the material directly. And guys, right now, because I've done this many times, I just go through my phone, I send them the pictures of what I want, and I get everything ordered to my place, and the contractors get, you know, busy, and they build it. So, and this is gonna be 1/3 of the price of whatever any company quotes you, because you're doing everything directly. So mainly what you need for this is experience, and that was this process. Now the next process is, as mentioned, okay, I already went through this process about property finder, everything, and you know, you start putting as many offers as possible, 200, 300 offers on whatever you want to buy. You want to buy Dubai Marina, you want to buy Business Bay, wherever you want to buy. Okay, now the main thing for operating, after you bought it, if you're interested to operate it through Airbnbs, you need to know the regulations. So guys, not every apartment can be operated through Airbnb. You need to know the regulations, and you need to get a company license. Right now, it's getting tougher and tougher, you know, to operate on your own. Or if you need help with that, also let me know. I can kind of help you out without like managing your property without owning a company, but not through actually working with companies. There's a way to do it. And you need to pay 1,520 setup basically to the government as a fee. They're like DET, Dubai Tourism, DTCM, and you pay 370 dirhams to 600 for a 1 bedroom, as like to register that specific unit, and you pay 670 dirhams for a 2 bedroom to register that 2 bedroom unit, and you get pre-approved, which is pretty simple. And you have your shortlist and your offers, and then you do your due diligence, right? They do inspection like AC pressure, you check your apartment, make sure everything is going well. And the last part, which is again my experience, if you need help with the operation side, I can show you exactly how to operate an Airbnb and set it up. So that would be the operation. You basically take cinematic videos. So the pictures you saw, guys, I take them. And the pictures I take are one of them was through evening. The lighting was horrible. So through AI, we had to make the lighting perfect in a good lighting, right? No fake pictures, but we just improve the lighting with AI. So you take nice photo shoots, you list it on booking.com, VRBO, Airbnb, and better to do it on software like a property management software. I use Guesty if you're trying to use it professionally. And you pretty much just wait for the guests to come, give them good service, and you scale up your operations like that to get 12 to 13% ROI. If you're interested to learn, more about Dubai properties, join a newsletter where I, share my free resources on everything I'm doing in Dubai, licenses, more in detail, because on videos I cannot go, through details. I break down every single detail on every email. And if you're interested to learn more about any of the process, just book a call with me, and I'm gonna guide you on every process. For now, ciao.